well to beat them. They are Coach Brown's teams are always a model of efficiency, not to mention toughness and tenacity and the whole thing. But they're very, very good at executing and being efficient. We knew we were going to have to play well on that. They're a team that their records over the last couple of years show that if they're under 70, if they hold the opponent under 70, they win. We knew we had to get over that. We did. We needed to be at least plus 10 on the free throw line. We were plus 15, so that was big. Getting 4 players in double figures, you got to have balance to beat a team like that, and because the ball's got to move, and they're just too good defensively. If you become a team that's just got 1 or 2 guys that are your main scorers, and we saw that from all the films that we've studied of them. So that was big to have 4 there, and then we wanted to be up. We wanted to be in control of the game at the end. And the biggest thing outside of defensive transition and defensive rebounding was going to be us taking care of the ball. So to have 4 turnovers in the first half, to have only 3 in the second half, to have Yogi play 36 minutes without a turnover, to have James play 34 minutes without a turnover. Rob made some plays, just things weren't there sometimes for him with the passing, but I mean, he played an outstanding game as well. To play against a team that prides himself on defense and help and length like they do and only have that amount of turnovers is a major step for us. That we knew that inside play and being able to keep them off the glass was going to be huge. I think it's a small victory. They only had 9 offensive rebounds, but it's not a victory for us that we gave up the points on the inside. And we know we've got to get better there. We've got to continue to scheme and plan and whatever we can do. We had some guys fighting. I mean, Yogi's fighting a 6'8" guy most of the game, and that's why we need to mix defenses up. But all in all, very good win, very impressive win for our team against a very impressive team, because they are capable of many things, and they're 9 deep without question. They're going to win. They're going to win for a long time. So this win was very, very good for us, short term and long term, and now we want to build on it. There were 2, I thought, turning points in the game for us, in timely shooting and things of that were one thing, and timely rebounds. But I thought in the first half, when we weren't attacking the paint the way that we needed to, we actually had probably there were 19 jumpers we took in that first half where the ball didn't get in the paint, where it didn't come through the paint. It doesn't have to be scored in the paint, but we've got to get the ball through it, and we didn't do that. I thought Stan Robinson came in the first half and changed the dynamic of the game, with his attacking, and he didn't play a lot of minutes, but he changed the dynamic for us and got us a little more aggressive. And then in the second half, when we're down 4, this was the key to the game. We had 7 of the next 8 possessions, we got stops. So I'm not even sure what our shooting was. I think that's when we had some of those makes, but bottom line, 7 of 8 possessions down 4 against a really good team, and we got stops in those. So a lot of stuff for us to build on, and I'll open it up.
What's a game like this when you have to make the kind of plays at the end, and you got to put away the game? What's it mean to the simple maturation of a team, psychologically, confidence-wise, across the board?
Oh, I think it. There's no question that it will come back and help you, and you hope that they understand that they can do that all the time. And even the other night against Texas Southern, when we were up, I didn't sub because we wanted to work on running some clock without them really knowing we were running clock, our own team, because you don't want a team to start playing not to lose. You want them to continue to attack, look for layups, but at the same time get the ball swung and make the clock your ally. But tonight that was important. Our press offense, moving the ball, looking for actions, and when they're not there, we were really, really strong on what we wanted to do when it got to 15 seconds or when it got to 10 seconds in the game, and we practiced that. It was one of our main points again this afternoon in our walkthrough. So that's all part of the maturity that they've got to go through. So I don't think there's any question that it will help, and it's going to be one of those next time you have it, it's been there, done that for a young team, because there are a lot of young players on the court putting the game away.
Evan?
First 10 minutes, you were outscored 22-10. Do you think your team was just a little jittery to start the game?
No, I don't think the ball was touching the paint, and I think it was we were getting really good shots. It wasn't like we weren't making. So jittery, I don't know, maybe. I mean, they were open shots and they were good shots. They just weren't going in. But for us, we have to be on the attack. and on both ends of the court. And the ball's got to get through the paint, through the post some, okay? But it's got to get through the paint. And they make it very, very hard to score in the paint because of the way they block shots and the way they all rally to the ball. And baseline drives are going to be almost unheard of in this game against them because of the way they rally to the ball. They're as good a help team as there is and that I've seen. I mean, they're tremendous at help defense for primarily a man-to-man team. Some teams like Louisville are outstanding in their help because of the way they zone. But this team is really, really good at that. So that's your mom, that's okay. You can take it. Other than that,
$50.
detention. But to me, we got open looks. We just needed to be more aggressive and play through the paint, and that gets everybody going. That gets the energy up.
Zach?
I know you don't want guys obviously taking bad shots, but you started, I think, 1 of 5 in the first half from behind the arc, 0 of 4 in the second half. Is this a team that you don't want to be afraid or get gun shy?
Exactly. They weren't bad shots. I mean, it's almost like as a coach, you want to say they took a bad shot. Those are shots that just didn't go. And there's a little technique, and there's technique things. James, Max, Yogi. We're constantly trying to not only coach the technique, and it really comes down to reminders. It's not like trying to change anybody's shot, but they're just reminders, and those happen during the game. And I think sometimes when you shoot it quick, or you don't hold your follow through, or you don't get your last dribble down on your pull up, and the ball's behind you, little things like that can mess with you. But no, I don't want them feeling fear. That's how we have to play. But the more the ball is moving and the more the ball is coming through the corners, then all of a sudden you saw us getting back cuts in the second half because we wanted to get the game lifted. We didn't want to be in a game with them. They want you to come out and play them. And we'll get to the point where we're pressing and three-quarter pressing and things of that nature to bring fatigue to the game. But that's just like giving Nick Moore his way. If you come up and chase him around and you let him use his speed and toughness and quickness, strength, I mean, that's not good. I mean, they're a big, long, athletic team, and Nick makes a lot of things happen. One of the keys for us was how we were going to defend Ben Moore, and he's a very good player. He did a very good job around the bucket. We wanted to limit his touches in the perimeter and the high post area. We had a lot of respect for their offensive execution, so we wanted to mix defenses. But to me, we've got to shoot the ball with great confidence because we've got confident players that when they take a shot.
Rick?
Yeah, I mean, you guys had 12 threes last year. I think the most you had in the game was 10. And I think almost 57% of the field goal attempts you took were threes. Is that just of this matchup, or you think it's going to be?
No, I think that's the way it is. I've said this before. I mean, when our team 2 years ago, I think they averaged 7 threes. And last year we averaged 5. We make 2 more threes a game, and we've been harping on this, through the summer. If we made 2 more threes a game with last year's team, we win 6 more games, just like that. And a team like Michigan made 7 threes a game. I don't know how many we're going to make. We've never had. We've led the country. I've said this before, but we've led the country in the BCS over the last 3 years in league play and overall play and 3-point percentage. But we're nowhere near the attempt leaders. Okay, and that's okay as long as we're getting good threes. I don't care how many threes we take, as long as they're in rhythm, as long as they're not forced and challenged, and as long as that was the best shot we could get. But there's like Nick took a couple of quick ones there late. Nick feels it. I mean, those things go down, the roof comes off, right? I mean, it's just there's time and score to it, but there's the same time this is a rhythm team, and the more that ball's moving, there's a lot of guys can get in rhythm.
Dana?
You guys said that they sense a different attitude amongst themselves since everything had been kind of circling up or whatever you want to call it. How much does that attitude is responsible in this kind of a game? That they're kind of relying more on one another. They're pull this one out.
Oh, I don't think there's any question that's a huge part of it. I mean, you can't plan for everything that they've been through and that they're going through. It's not like we've been through it. I mean, we're still in the midst of it. We're still in the midst of maturing. We're still in the midst of growing up. We don't have a teammate with us that they miss dearly and misses them. And the thing with adversity, you're going to go one of 2 ways with it. Okay, it's either going to break you or it's going to bond you. And it's too early for us to have an answer to either one of those. That'd be foolish to say that. But for us to continue to move forward and for them to continue to bond, it's not just about being friends and buddies. It's about them being able to tell the truth to one another. It's 24/7 with one another, right? But at the same time, it's in the court. I saw it some tonight. Guys say, hey, hold your follow through, or one more pass. Not negativity, but like reminders to each other. When you get a team that bonds like that, that's going to be important. And we can grow. We're still young in so many areas, and we haven't even begun to put pressure defense in and things of that nature yet. And so, those things will go. We got a lot of places to get better at. We got a lot of games to play. But with what they've been through over a period of time, I'm proud of their work. I'm proud of how serious they are. I'm proud of they're trying to grow up. They're growing up. So that we just got to continue. Like I say to them every day, they've got to take it. They've got to take it day by day. I mean, it sounds kind of corny, but it's true. And that's really what they have to do is get the most out of the day. Assess where they're at the end of the day. Know what they got to get to do better tomorrow. Sounds corny, just as corny to them. But you know what? We're trying to live it and move from there.
Pete?
Tom, I know some of this has to do with matchups, but are you in some ways better playing small when you have, in essence, almost 5 guards out there?
I think it'll be game by game. But I mean, we can't. It is what it is. So I thought we did a really good job tonight of trying to get some matchups that we wanted. I mean, Hunter did a good job. I think I should have mentioned this. Yogi had 18 deflections. He had 15 in the first half. The last time we got a guy at 15 in the first half was Victor Oladipo. It's the only other guy I've coached that's had that many in one half. Hunter doesn't get a board, plays a lot of minutes, but he's down there fighting, right? He ends up with 13 deflections. He's active. That's the stuff when you look at Hunter, you can't, as he continues to progress, you can't just look at his numbers. And well, he didn't have any rebounds. Well, he's down there fighting. So all of a sudden, James comes out of there with 7 boards. Robert comes out of there with 6. Yogi comes out of there with 5. All of a sudden, you got what, 18 rebounds out of 3 guys. And for us to be successful, we've got to get guard rebounds. Well, Hunter's down there trying to hold the fort and battle and do that, and sometimes the ball doesn't bounce. But he's continuing to affect the game. In answer to your question, everybody that goes out there should be able to impact the game, affect the game. And I don't know if it has a lot to do with small spacing. Okay, but Troy figured it out. I mean, Troy started scoring down on the baseline, and Troy was so excited to be in the game and trying to make plays. And all of a sudden, when he slowed down a little bit, things started to come to him. He makes big defensive plays. I think it's just putting our guys out and making sure that everybody knows that when that ball moves, everybody's going to be rewarded, whether we're small or whether we're medium-sized. I don't think we're going to get big. I guess we'd be medium-sized, right? But it's what it is.
Mike DeCourcy?
Tom, when you signed James, did you know right away he'd have this green light, or was that something that came from Montreal or preseason or the exhibitions, or I mean, when did you know that this would?
Well, I think he's really smart. He's really a smart player, and that's the thing about Robert too. I mean, they're serious-minded, but they're very smart players. And James really wants to be better at everything. He's not the first. He's not going to walk around thinking I'm just a shooter. And we had a good talk the other day about having more of an aggressive mentality to start the game. A scorer's mindset. Now, a scorer's mindset doesn't just mean I'm coming in to score. A shooter's mindset means I'm coming in to shoot. A scorer's mindset, we're coming in to find the plays. And I thought he did a good job of that. And again, to play that game with no turnovers and to have 7 boards, that's pretty impressive. And he holds his follow through. He would even have had more points. Literally, he would have had more. And he's trying to be a well-rounded, complete player. And I think when you got guys like that, it's really easy to give them a lot of freedom. And that's important. But I think everybody on this team knows or will learn that you don't take advantage of it either. You keep making the simple play. And as long as that simple play results in good shots, even if they don't go in, no problem.
Okay, last question, Jeremy?
To follow up what you were saying about Hunter, how big was that charge he took?
Oh my goodness, that might have been the loudest the building was all night, and deservedly so. He started the game with a charge. I think 2 of the first 3 possessions were charges, right? Mm-hmm. Or something like that. He's our leading charge taker in practice. And to me, again, I know everybody asked about Hunter. All I can tell you is he's getting better, all right, at doing all those little things. And he never took charges a year ago. And you can see him, he still leaves his feet too much right now. and he's trying to block shots when he should just play position defense for have verticality. But for him to stand there, that was a big time momentum changer for us. I'm not even sure what the score was,
54-52.
but when the team is excited like that, so we did a really good job with that. Honor's learning how to do all the little things that lead to winning, and if he can continue on that path, he'll improve. That was a monumental play in this game, no doubt. Anybody else? I'm good? Go ahead, Zach.
I guess just the two guys that did play that came back tonight, Stan and Troy, you talked a little bit
Stan
about.
played. Oh, you mean that did play?
They did
Okay.
play. You talked a little bit about them, I guess, in the course of answers, but how do you think those guys kind of adapted back in on their first?
Well, I think, again, Stan didn't play a lot of minutes, but he went in and he impacted the game because he changed the dynamic of the game, and that's a huge thing. I mean, it's momentum is always up for grabs in a game, and it doesn't come down to a starter. It doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter who it is. It can come a lot of different ways. And who has momentum the longest and last usually wins a close game. But he came in when we were a little bit more perimeter oriented and helped us get a little bit more attack oriented. And when he got fouled early, that was big. I mean, remember, he had as many free throw attempts in league play last year as Noah Bonley did. And Noah had some free throw attempts. So, I mean, Stan can get fouled. But Troy came in. Troy was going to have a lot of energy. There was no doubt about that. He kept talking about, you know, you have nothing to prove. Just come out here and play. You fit in with what we're doing. You know, just adjust to it. Don't come out and try to get it all back at once. And once he settled in, he did a pretty good job. But he is he's got an edge to him when he plays, and felt bad for him. He's worked so hard on his ball handling, his footwork to have that carry. But he'll continue to get better with that. He's a hard matchup. And one of the turning points in the game for us is when we moved him to have to be defended by their 5 because they had to match down with us rather than us match up with them. I thought they did. I mean, he might have just wanted to sub him. But when you can move a guy around, those two guys really have a lot of versatility for us. And they just need to blend in to what we're doing, and they'll be fine. And Emmett, it just wasn't the night to go in. We went a little bit smaller. But he's worked hard, and I have confidence with playing him. He's obviously been through a lot, and he's handling it, and he's growing up, and he works hard every day, and there's a place for him on that court too. All right, thank you.